Now, people find themselves in different situations where they may need to start over financially, either because maybe they lost their job, their marriage ended, they got into some, financial situations where they actually lost money. And sometimes it might not be anything dramatic. It may just be that you have just woken up and realized that you're not where you want to be financially, and you are also in your 30s or in your 40s. And I can tell you at this age, it carries, I would say, a bit of extra weight, not just because of societal expectation of where they expect it to be. It may even be a voice in your head, but more importantly, I think it's just because the stakes are much higher than in your 20s when you have to restart financially. And I know this firsthand because I've been through that. 5 years ago, I had to do the same thing. I had to start over financially. I moved from Nigeria to England where I had my business back home that was thriving. I had enough savings that could last me for years and years, even if I decided not to work. I was pretty much very comfortable. And then when I moved to England, one, I didn't have a job. And secondly, everything I thought I had in terms of money that I could use to survive for years now could only last me for 12 months after currency conversion. And that really, for me, was like a wake-up call. And seeing my life savings just dwindle on a month-on-month basis while I was looking for a job, it felt like, someone had removed a security blanket from me, literally. And that was exactly how I felt. And I had to rebuild again. So everything I'm going to be sharing with you in this video is actually what I have used myself, and it's what I'd use again if I had to restart from scratch. And the first thing is to acknowledge the reality of things, right? You have to move away from the regret and all of the stories that we'll tell ourselves about how we have got into this situation. That doesn't matter anymore. What matters now is that you recognize that you don't feel adequate financially and you want to do something about it. You're not going to try and blame yourself, but you need to acknowledge the position that you're in. And the reason you're feeling behind is going to be different from why another person is feeling behind financially. For me personally, it was that feeling of no longer having that financial security that I used to have. And this takes me to the next point, where you need to define what the financial goals you're targeting are, and also put a number to it. So you're not going to put in something vague. You're going to define all of the financial goals. Do you want to pay off debt? Do you want to save your emergency funds? Do you want to invest? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to save for retirement? Whatever the goal is, you are then going to attach a number to it. If you're trying to pay off debt, you need to know the exact numbers you're working towards. If it's emergency funds you're trying to save, you need to be able to say, okay, I'm trying to save, say, 3 to 6 months of my living expenses. But you also need to be able to define, what does that number look like, right? If you're trying to save for retirement, you also need to have some sort of target, right? What this is going to help you do is start to help you think about how you can actually really hit these goals. So once you have your goals defined and the numbers attached to those financial goals, then the next thing you're going to need to do is audit your finances. Now, you need to be able to identify 3 things: what's coming in, what's going out, what is staying. In my own situation, nothing was coming in, but everything was going out because I moved to England without a job. So all I was spending was whatever thing I had saved from Nigeria. For most people, they only need to look back maybe about the last 3 months. Sometimes you may need to look further back than that, but I think that the last 3 months can actually really reflect, where you are. And one of the reasons this exercise is actually really important is because it starts to help you see, where you might have leaks. Where there could be opportunities within your current income for you to start to tackle some of your financial goals. But more importantly, it also starts to, paint a picture to you in terms of the approach you're going to use to start to hit some of these financial goals that you have. And for some people, just cutting back is enough for them to, start to hit some of their financial goals. And for some other people, they would need to increase their income. Personally, for me, if you're in your 30s and in your 40s, it needs to be both. It needs to be those two approaches, cutting back and increasing your income. And I know that in the personal finance space these days, everyone is saying, cutting out the coffee will not make a difference. And what I'm saying is, depending on what your situation is and how dire it is, you may need to cut that coffee. You may need to cut eating out. You may need to cut buying new things. You may need to cut so many things from your life. And it's okay because it's temporary. It's not something that you're going to do permanently. But don't let anyone deceive you that those little things that you're cutting back is not going to make a difference, because it will in the long run. Yes, it sounds like, hey, it's a £3, £4 coffee that you're cutting back, but it's going to add up in the end. And for me, I had a fixed amount I was working with that was then shrinking on a daily and monthly basis while I was still looking for a job. And what I had to do was to figure out how I could cut back so that I can stretch my money for as long as I can before I got a job. And that was the approach that I was using, right? Cutting back while also looking for how to increase my income. And for so many people, you might need to do that as well. You're cutting back to maybe increase the monthly payments you're making on your debt if you're repaying debt, or maybe to increase the amount of money you're putting into your savings, or you're increasing the amount of money you're setting aside to invest. Whatever that is, you are doing that. And in terms of increasing your income, in my case, I was looking for a job, right? But at the same time, I was also thinking about what sort of business I could do, because I also had the flexibility of not requiring sponsorship to reside in the UK. So I was trying to do all of that at the same time. What I ended up settling for was getting a job. For some people, it may be that you want to go look for a job if you don't have one. It may be that you want to, start a side hustle, start a business. It may be that you are job hopping so that you can increase your salary. It may be that you're trying to monetize existing skills. It could mean different things. But whatever that thing is, you are using a two-pronged approach. And the reason why I'm also recommending, having a two-pronged approach to this is because in your 30s and in your 40s, yes, people say that, you have time, right? But I feel like you need to approach this, especially if you're feeling like you are behind, with a sense of urgency, which means that you need to be a bit more aggressive with how you're approaching things rather than, leaving things to chance and, trying to just focus on one approach instead of trying the two approaches at the same time. And also, more importantly, while I'm trying to cut back and also look for how to increase my income, I would be thinking about, maybe only picking two financial goals that I'm targeting. One of the mistakes that people make is that they try to, tackle everything at the same time. All you need to do is look at what the two most important financial goals are. It could be paying off debt and saving emergency funds. It could be increasing your income and investing. It could be, investing and saving for retirement. You can combine two goals at best. It will help you to, feel focused, and also you stand a better chance of hitting the goals that you really focus on much faster than when you're, spread a bit too thin. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is the fact that you need to try as much as possible to remove frictions that can, derail you from your goal. And I'm talking more about automating as much stuff as you can. If it's about, setting up direct debit or standing order on your account so that it's going into either overpayment towards your debt, your investments, your emergency funds, whatever that is, you're trying to automate it. If you're trying to save for retirement, for example, it could be that you're opting into your workplace pension. So before the money even hits your account, it's already been, put into your pension. So it doesn't exist as something that you're going to be able to touch. And if you're self-employed and you have a SIP, you can also, set up a direct debit to invest in your SIP. Now, one other thing for you to pay attention to on your journey to rebuilding yourself is that you need to cut out as much negativity as you can, whether it is external or internal. One of the things that I had to do myself is to make sure that I am not consuming content of people who were constantly negative about money. So I'm talking about like content around, it's difficult to save anything, it's difficult to achieve anything. And while that might be the reality that I'm struggling to save, I'm struggling to do something, consuming that content has absolutely no benefit to me except making me feel more, depressed about my situation. And I intentionally cut everything out. And I focused more on consuming content from people who, were immigrants like me, but they seem to be doing okay, or at least they had a positive outlook on life. And I think that this is extremely important because sometimes when we consume very relatable content, we start to feel like, maybe it's not too bad. I'm not alone. There are a lot of people, feeling the same way, but you don't have to, consume this kind of content. You don't have to validate the fact that you are struggling. You're already struggling. You know that. So think about, consuming content and having conversations about money, even with like friends and family, that is a bit more positive in terms of, hey, I can do this. It's not going to be easy, but I can do it. It is possible. And I think that that is extremely important. If you're constantly speaking to people who are going to, make you feel like your dreams are a bit too big or it's just damn near impossible, I don't think that that is going to help in any way. And also what you tell yourself, it's okay to be scared. And because essentially what you're doing is you're trying to rebuild afraid, right? And it's okay for you to be scared, but you also have to be very conscious about what you're telling yourself about your situation. I always say that a lot of the battles that we fight is won in the mind first before it's won in the physical. And that is very true because the state of your mind is what is going to help you get up in the morning and go even when the going gets tough. Now, speaking of things getting tough, another thing that I want you to note is that while you may have a perfect plan of how you want to move forward, of how you want to rebuild, life may happen. And that is okay. You may need to slow down. You may need to hit pause. You may need to, reset again. And things may look messy. As long as you understand that you have not failed, it may be that you're not going to get there, in the time frame you have set for yourself. But you need to recognize that life happens. In my case, while I was rebuilding, I lost my dad. And not only did that set me back financially again, it set me back mentally. And for almost 2 years, I was in a state of just pure grief. And there was zero motivation. And, sometimes that will happen. As long as you are making an effort to still move, no matter how slow, that is okay. And you need to recognize that that may happen. Now, it is not the end of the world that you are having to rebuild in your 30s or in your 40s, but it's important that you recognize and acknowledge the reality of things where you are without necessarily trading blames. You're able to, define your goals and attach a number to it. You're able to audit your finances so that you can understand where you can actually make a bit more room in your existing finances and your current situation. To hit your financial goals, as well as, increasing your income. For me, like I said, building a bit aggressively in this stage is quite important for me. And, you're automating and removing as much friction as you can. cutting back negative thoughts and just pure negativity from your life, and also just not completely feeling deflated when life happens on your journey. Now, if this video has resonated with you, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you in the next video.